Hello friends and welcome, Pony here. Today we're going to play Warrior again, and I swapped the deck completely. I'm going to fool you around today with our special episode because it's going to be Miracle Warrior after Miracle Druid went so successful, brought us to legend number 96, sadly not 69. We're going to test out the Miracle Warrior here, and it's going to be really interesting to see how good it works. I mean, it's more like the standard Controll Warrior, as you can see. We have the weapons in, but we also play Slam Cleave with Azure Drakes into a Whirlwind, can be really interesting. We also run a Violet Teacher. What? A Violet Teacher and Warrior with Whirlwind and Deathbite? Isn't that stupid synergy? No, it ain't. It still works. The great part about it is you play the Violet Teacher, you get your minions off with playing your spells, Cleave for example, and you just use them for trading purposes. So for example, you would never attack with a Deathbite before you not run in your 2/1/1s. You run him in the face, you run him in minions, you run him somewhere, but you do something with him before you attack. And then, well, they die, or they get sacrificed anyway, it doesn't matter. We can pimp the version maybe with a Frowsing Berserker, like you get the synergy of a Violet Teacher, and then you play a Frowsing Berserker, run all the 1/1s in, and go crazy. Also, we get the Auctioneers with some card draw, and then the late game stuff. So the purpose of the deck is stay alive, win the game, or maybe swarm your enemy with a Violet Teacher or stuff, or get the Armor Smith Violet Teacher advantage against a Hunter, for example. Violet Teacher into Cleave, Violet Teacher into Slam, Violet Teacher into Slam, Shield Slam, then you play Armor Smith, run your small ones in, get like more cards, and you're like, oh guys, and go crazy with it. So that's going to be our Miracle Warrior now, and we're going to test it in game 2, so we're going to start some gameplay. I would say let's just start that thing to see how good this deck will work. If it works. Miracle Warrior, go! Okay. Maybe it's a miracle if we win one game with this. We're going to play against Valera. And we're obviously gonna drop all of our cards. There's like no card we want to keep. Okay, there's a Violet Teacher. That's going to be really interesting to see him react to this. And we get already the cards we want. So like turn 4 Violet Teacher into Slam Shield block. Small ones. You can draw cards. The thing is, might there be 2 less cards on the deck because we don't have our Acolytes of Pain. Well, you got 2 Auctioneers, you got 2 Azure Drakes, you got 2 times Shield block, and you got 1 Slam. That's 7 card draw options. I think it should be enough. In the Miracle Druid, well, you get the Ancient of Lores, you got the Azure Drakes, and you got the Auctioneers. So I think there's 6 card draw options here, 7. The Ancient of Lore draw 2 cards. You got the Innervates and Moonfires to draw cards. We're gonna see. I mean, you can draw with Whirlwind Execute. You can draw cards. And the good part in Avoria is you might not be able to do anything without your weapon. Like you might not be able to attack your enemy in the beginning with your hero power, but you can go sustain for late game. But now, wow, he can attack. And if he plays a minion, I get my weapons. That's the strong part about it. I don't care if I get a weapon, whatever he does. So he drops an Earthen Ring Farseer, BAM! Kill it. He drops whatever, BAM! Kill it again. So you have all the opportunities to deal with his early stuff. Right now, we're looking good. When it's turn 4, he just threw down a Shiv. Might be the card he needs to trigger for the for his SI7, Sinister Strike, whatever. I mean Eviscerate. So we're gonna pop the Violet Teacher and see his reaction now. If there ain't a reaction, we're gonna follow up with a low tap. Whatever he plays, turn 4, we have the Slam Execute option. We have the Slam Shield block option, so we get some stuff to do here. And the thing is, we already got Grom, so we could try to peel him low now. Is what we have here. What is he going to do? Deadly Poison, but he already attacked with his blade, so he's not able to do anything. And now we're gonna be funny. We're gonna deny him the opportunity to play any spells. So he might be able to backstab now. Backstab, for example. But that would cost him kind of 5 to play the backstab. And there's an Earthen Ring Farseer because he's not having crap shit to play. Now we're gonna go for Slam for the card draw.
I am ready to learn.
Nice. Enter Cruel Taskmaster, armor up. and we start dealing the damage. So, see what he has to answer us. I mean, you could put out, so you can argue, with all the early stuff here, you might put out your Alexstrasza, because your Alexstrasza won't be that useful anymore. Maybe put down the Alexstrasza and put in a Wild Pyromancer, for example, to get more early control or stuff like that. Not entirely sure. But there's stuff to put in still to make the deck better. That's only the first version of our Miracle Warrior. We might play this on, depends on how good it goes here. Okay, there's a sap. There's like Lothab on the board. I expect a prep into... Kind of nice. No, conceal. That's quite annoying. So we know he has a Blade Flurry in hand. After he attacks my face, you just know, okay, thank you, Blade Flurry, obvious. We're gonna play the Violet Teacher.
Pay attention, class.
And we're gonna give it a shield block.
I am ready to learn.
I know might be the wrong play due to him having a Blade Flurry, probably. The thing is, we have Grimash, and now we have Ragnaros also, and we got the Whirlwind Execute to get rid of the Gisgidan Auctioneer. So I think it's kind of great. You can play Ragnaros next turn, hits the face, and then we have Grimash, Whirlwind, GG. And the game is already over. This can end just in an instant. He's going on the Card Draw City. Card Draw City. And we haven't gotten anything of our Miracle potential here. I'm also thinking about maybe you put in maybe you build the deck more mid-rangey and you put in the Inner Rages, for example. You work around with that too. Okay, by now, our friend here is in dire trouble. You can Shadow Stab him? Now there's a Blade Flurry we're waiting for. I think we're gonna go the risky play here. Ragnaros hits the face, I just win. Ragnaros hits the minion, that's good also. He hits the face. There's an Urza Ring Farseer. He survives, obviously. But there's still a Ragnaros, one sap wasted. Eviscerate gone. Could sap here, draw the rest of his deck. There are some possibilities. I don't think he can deal 28 damage. Not even with 10 hand cards. And I don't know if that was a mistake. If he goes weapon up, deadly poison. There's Lothab. That denies me a bit. Oh, we're still okay. Okay, he's trying to deny my super win. We're just going to play him and charge on that and hope my Ragnaros hits the face. Over! That was pretty quick. The Violet Teacher was in there, but I would say we would have won this even without the Miracle option. But this thing was still, he's like, oh wow, there's a Violet Teacher, I need to get rid of it. Sap wasted. You know? Sap wasted. And if you draw a sap with a Violet Teacher, that's good for late game, because there won't be a sap for Lothab, Sylvanas, Black Knight, Grimash, whatever. Okay, you're not gonna sap a Black Knight, obviously. But you know what I mean. Second opponent for the Miracle Warrior, and I guess, as always in a Miracle Warrior, you're going to mulligan for your early stuff. We're playing against a Warlock, and you're like, okay, we get the Death Bite, we get an Execute. Probably going to keep those two cards, because if it's Zulok, you have the Death Bite turn 4, quite late. But you have the Shield Slam to deal with his stuff. If he's a Handlock, you get the Shield Slam and you get the Death Bite with an Execute. You get quite everything you want. Let's just hope he's a Handlock now. Or a Demon Lock, or whatever. People play craziest stuff nowadays. You're looking at Spider. Okay, there's the second Execute, that's great. If this is a Handlock, we already have the perfect hand to play this. Looking beautiful. And it can only get better, I think. Life Tab. What do you think about, possibly? Miracle Warrior. So It's working like a charm, I have to say. I'm happy to see the Azure Drakes in the future together with Slam or Cleave. Hello? Ah, there he is. So finally our opponent is back. And we got the Fiery Warx also. It's gonna be turn 3, our turn 4, bam bam, his turn 4. As long as he's not coining out stuff, we're good. If he starts coining out stuff, semi-optimum. For example, he coins a Twilight Drake now. Okay, we get two options here. We could work with our Shield Slam still and then kill it next turn with the Death Bite. Are we... Okay, we're gonna play with a Shield Slam. And next turn finish it off with the Death Bite. Hope he has no Earthen Ring Farseer. He plays a Giant. He cannot play a Giant now after he coined his Twilight Drake. The only thing we're missing in here is a summons. Okay, there's a second Twilight Drake. Good job. Now we're gonna pull out the Death Bite. We're gonna pull out the Fiery Warx. Kill him. And we're gonna slam. Get a card. Auctioneer. And then we're gonna pass the turn. Because next turn we can go Auctioneer, Execute. Card draw. Not the most amount of card draw. But one card better than none, and we don't care about losing. Okay. Ah, the Nerubian Axe into Shadow Flame, power overwhelming, whatever. So we don't care so much about getting 4 damage. And we're a Controll Warrior. That doesn't hurt us. We get the card draw. Now he's forced to deal with it. Now he needs to deal with my Auctioneer. It's like the Auctioneer is an immense threat. You leave it on the board and you give the opportunity to mill through his deck. And if you don't want one thing, then it's a Controll Warrior milling through his deck. So he draws a Siphon Soul. Now the Siphon Soul is not there for anything else. So we can go like Sylvanas now and see how he deals with her. We also got our Violet Teacher. Shylens? There's Shylens? There's a Soulfire into... Oh, Lothab lost! Wow! Easy GG. Is he really gonna do that? That is a misplay because his Death Rattle triggers first and I could get the Nerubian Egg, which would have been great, but we didn't get it. That's sad. Okay, there's a Void Caller. Let's see, we're gonna do this the right way. We're gonna kill his guy. And then we're not gonna play our girl. We're gonna armor up. The thing is, next turn, okay, his Death Rattle is going first. That means I kill him, he summons a demon. The demon gets the Whirlwind. The demon is something big. The demon gets executed. You know what I mean? And his guy dies also. Okay. That doesn't change my plan at all. Okay, in the end, same thing in blue. We kill his demon. The Whirlwind goes off. He summons no demon from his hand. We play our Violet Teacher to execute his demon, get one of our friends, and we armor up. And next turn we can go Shield Block. I didn't go Shield Block right here because you want to go Shield Block, Shield Slam combo, I think. We know there are no demons in his hand, else it would have been drawn out by the Void Caller. And whoa, look at my hand. My hand is amazing. Okay. We get Hellfired. That's it. No more cards in his hand. Whoa. Whoa, bro. We attack him. Down to 19. We exactly got 9 damage, 19 damage the next turn. Could have played with Ragnaros also. I can still play with Ragnaros, but with the Lothab, he's kind of doomed. He played already his Sunwalkers twice, so there needs to be a Defender of Argus now. And well, he needs to play, oh, there's only a Mountain Giant, and that's going to be well played because we finished the game with our Grimash. Into that. So we had a slight card draw with our Gizgidan Auctioneer, which ain't the greatest thing. But as I said, the Auctioneer is more or less there. If he survives, you put him on the board. Great. You draw cards. If he dies, he drew a spell. Soulfire, bam, card lost. Siphon Soul gone. Execute gone. So if you draw an Execute with him, if you draw an Eviscerate, damage less on your face. So you can draw a lot of spells with it. You draw Swipe out. The enemy is like not able to play anything else his turn. And what you want to have with the controller is get into late game. So turn 5, Auctioneer. He drops something to kill it. Bam! Owned. Because he needs to waste his turn to kill your Auctioneer. And there you get your advantage. Because you can profit on from that situation. We're going to drop all the cards and keep the Death Spy because it's great to have early on. Yeah, there's an Armor Smith. I was already questioning if we actually play Armor Smiths. The Brawl might not be necessary in this region because you normally have stuff out. Wow, the Removel Warrior is so good. It forces your enemies to instant surrender. Awesome. Awesome deck. It's just like, did you see that? We instant surrendered him. And now let's play one more game, give a short conclusion about the deck, and we're gonna tweak it and test it in the future on. Normally, this podcast, this show, is about the Controll Warrior and how good it is, and how to play it correctly. Well, we swapped it a little bit to play more or less something different now. We're gonna drop the whole hand. We're gonna play the Miracle Warrior for a bit, just because we like the Miracle theme with the card draw, with the milling effect, and in this matchup, it gets particularly interesting because we have the Auctioneers and we might force out spells out of his hand. And if there's one thing you want to achieve as a Controll Warrior, late game. Get with your cards into late game and go crazy. Okay, there's a weapon. That's great. You need a weapon early on to kill his card draw. We know his card draw relies on the Acolytes of Pain. Should rely on the Acolytes of Pain. We never know what the players here are playing. Could be everything. Okay, there's our Auctioneer. We might play him actually before the Azure Drake, even though the Azure Drake draws a card, just to draw the spell. Or we could also just go for the Azure Drake. There's coin into Acolyte of Pain. Acolyte of Pain. No surprise, I never do that against a Warrior. Honestly. This is the worst move in a Warrior versus Warrior matchup. You play a coin Acolyte of Pain. Nah. Get wrecked. So he drew one card from it. That's the same amount we're going to draw as an Auctioneer probably. But we have our weapon out. We can armor up. And there's Azure Drake Cleave, for example. One of the coolest turn 7 moves ever. You go Azure Drake Cleave and you kill 2/3 cost minions. For example, against a Miracle Rogue, it can be your blow-off move. Where you kill his SI7, Earthen Reinforce here. Against a Shaman. The turn 7, he pops his Spirit Wolves and you're like able to kill something else, another Taunter, and you just cleave him out of the way. Pretty funny. Love it. Okay, again, shield block into not armoring up. Might not be the smartest way to play it. There's an Azure Drake, Armor Smith, and now we get several options. We can go Auctioneer, Shield Slam. Auctioneer, Execute. Auctioneer, Shield Slam, Execute. Auctioneer, Shield Slam, then attack something, and then execute it. They're like card draw opportunities here. Turn 8, Auctioneer into Shield Block. Did he just Azure Drake me? And that makes it interesting because I can go exactly what I said. I go the Auctioneer and I Shield Slam for 4 because +1 spell damage in the count like that. And boom, get wrecked. That's down. And we use our weapon to get his shield away to avoid getting Shield Slammed on his side because he already used a Shield Block. Really important. No Shield Block for him now. And well, we got the Azure Drake and the Auctioneer flinging his coins everywhere. Next turn we play the Lothab. Depends on what he kills. I think we're anyways gonna play the Lothab, just to avoid him dropping spells. And there again, is it gonna draw and execute? Or did he just... No, that he didn't hit that just for 1. Yeah, he needs to do something. He cannot just go like, okay, bro, hit you for 1. And we're gonna play our Lothab. And we're going to Armor Smith in the face. I could have also worked around with the Cruel Taskmaster to deal 12 damage with this one, because it dealt 6 and then he attacks it and takes another 6. But we got 10 damage on the board. We can make 18 out of it. It's turn 7 and there's not much to do. As a Cruel Taskmaster on his side. Or a Whirlwind for 6. No, Cruel Taskmaster. We ain't surprised. We ain't surprised. We ain't surprised. Clutch Belcher. And there comes in our Cleave. Relatively handy, I have to say. Nice. That's perfect. We go Auctioneer. We attack. Get the armor. And then we cleave those 2 out of the way. Get another card. And go for the face. The card draw is real, guys. No Violet Teacher drawn. But the card draw is real. The Violet Teachers can also get replaced for Browsing Berserkers. But that's just a try. Okay, there's a Gorehowl, but that eats all of his mana. If he has a Gorehowl execute, that would be great. Execute on my Lothab. Like, Gorehowl him, execute there. Yes. Exactly what he needs to do. Okay, down to 15. And we 16 cards in to 16 cards in. And we're going to play the Ragnaros. He might have an Alexstrasza next turn, but honestly, he Alexstrazzas and, well, I kill the Alexstrasza and start doing even, like, bring him down again. And that was his last option there. And he just used an Execute on my Lothab. Shield Slam is gone, so he uses his spells he wants to have to kill a Ragnaros, for example. Here's his Ragnaros. 50-50 chance, my face or not. And if it's not hitting my face, his minion dies. Okay? That was relatively annoying. But we get our Sylvanas Windrunner into a simple armor up. And then let's see what happens. Because he could kill her, I get Ragnaros. Yeah, you don't want that. He could kill her, play a minion before, and hope for the 50-50 RNG. Also good. Ragnaros hits my Sylvanas, I get Ragnaros. 50-50, he hits mine. Okay, that's... I don't know if that's good. I get her, and again, 50-50. 50-50 I get her, and 50-50 hits the minion. Okay, his own Alexstrasza is dead. First of all, his own Alexstrasza is dead. I'm gonna draw a card. Get a Whirlwind. Armor up. Leave him alive. I don't care about a Ragnaros being alive, I have to admit. I got the Brawl, I can lose some armor, and, well, he's down to 6. Yeah, I can deal with his stuff like that. I could just attack his Ragnaros, take 8 damage, and don't care about it, for example. Would be a thing. Just to not use my Execute in case there is a Karen waiting in his hand. There is a Grimash. There's a Grimash waiting in his hand, or a Grimash waiting in my hand. 1 card out of 12, I think that was okay. And therefore, we had the card draw. We drew the big removals out of his hand. That was the important thing. Get the removal out of his hand. Get him away. Draw it away, and then go with your big minions. He was kind of lucky in the end that I got the Alexstrasza. There's Ragnaros hitting my Alexstrasza, his Ragnaros hit my Ragnaros. So there was some luck involved, but my moves were flawless. We drew stuff out of his hand to play, and then we could play our biggies. So you play early value to remove his removal, and then you play your late value and win the game with it. Miracle Warrior works to some extent. We're gonna test it further on and on. It's pretty funny, absolutely, to play if you get your Violet Teacher running, and everyone's like, Violet Teacher and Warrior, we need to remove it! We need to remove it! It's crazy! And then people go like, oh god, what should we do now? There's the Violet Teacher. And they're like, oh god, no! Removal! Okay. that was our Miracle Warrior series. I hope you liked it so far. Please, if you like it, subscribe here on my YouTube. We're throwing out more content. Also, visit me on my Hitbox channel. We're daily live streaming there. And watch my other videos. They're quite great. We have the Miracle Druid. We got Legend Wizard. Also some Murloc Druid deck building and some tips on how to set up your open broadcaster and when to stream, why, where. So some streaming tutorials too. Love to see you guys. It was a lot of fun. Peace, love, and bear hugs. Seeing you soon again, hopefully. Your Prony.